What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TV Toycast YouTube channel. And today we are unboxing from the Operation Monster Force line. This is a mouthful and a half. The Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper. My goodness, what a name, but such a fun line. I've kind of fallen behind on some of these guys and doing the unboxings, but I'm going to get back to it because these are really, really cool figures. In fact, I have right here the Count Dracula that I unboxed, months ago. In fact, I think it was like late 2024, maybe even. It's been so long, I kind of forgot about it. And, I think with any line, when the momentum kind of stalls a bit, sometimes people kind of fall out of stuff. And it's not intentional, of course. It just happens. But this line, of course, comes to us from Fresh Monkey Fiction. I believe it, I don't know, it says it on there somewhere. Yeah, right here at the bottom, from freshmonkeyfiction.com. They're also on Big Bad Toy Store. I do know at one point all of these were available. I mean, amazing packaging here. Look at the figure. Really, really cool. I love the extra heads. Very G.I. Joe-esque, which I think is great. All these were available on Big Bad Toy Store. They may not be now. I do know I ordered... That's 8 figures in the first wave, which is a lot because these are... $37, $38, $39, somewhere in that range. So you start adding that times 8 figures, it does add up to a lot. But I did end up ordering 7 of the 8. Went to order the 8th one and it was out of stock. So I still have it on pre-order now because they were bringing more back in stock. I should have it around October. So hopefully that does happen and I can slide it in right at the end there as I get all of Wave 1 unboxed. Because these are really good figures. Like I said, I love anything that's kind of a niche or unique. I know a lot of people buy for nostalgia, and I'm no different there. But there was something kind of fun about this line that I was drawn to. And Fresh Monkey Fiction does really good stuff. So I was all about it. Of course, like I said, I already unboxed Count Dracula. I do have all of these. I'll be honest with you, though. I couldn't tell you which one I don't have. I do know... I think it's one of the Sleepwalkers I'm missing, but I don't know which ones I do have. Of course, we have Declan Van Helsing still to come. The Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper still to come. Of course, Count Dracula has been unboxed. The Forgotten King, Sleepwalker Heavy Weapons Division, Sleepwalker Crimson Moon Division, and Sleepwalker Obsidian Elite, Guardsman? So all of these are, of course, this guy's not featured there. So very unique packaging for each figure. Like I said, these are fantastic, and I think there's something really fun about these. We can kind of read a little bit about the line here. Once a sorcerer pharaoh whose reign was so vile, his name was erased from Egyptian history, the Forgotten King pursues a sinister agenda, gathering mystical artifacts from around the world for some unknown purpose. Every soldier sent to stop him is killed and reanimated into an undead zombie that is under the Forgotten King's command. Worried the Forgotten King's reign of terror will not be able to be stopped, the military enlists the help of monster hunter Declan Van Helsing. Seeing no other option, Declan goes against the Van Helsing's family wishes and opens Tomb 13, freeing the world's most powerful vampire, Count Dracula. His rationale: it may take a monster to bring down a monster. And so Operation Monster Force is formed. Under Dracula's direction, a unique vampire strike unit is created called Delta Red, whose undead condition makes them immune to the Forgotten King's powers. It is a race against time for Dracula and Van Helsing to discover the Forgotten King's hidden lair and to destroy him before his mysterious plan reaches completion. So upon reading that, I want to know more about this story, and I think that's the key to any line, right? Because if you're diving into He-Man and the Masters of the Universe as a young kid, or into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid, you may not know the story, but you're intrigued by the characters. You want to know more, and I think this could be... I know they've done some comic books, as we saw here. There's actually a little comic strip on the package, which I think is great. I'm not going to read through that, but you can see the artwork's really good there. So a lot of that would be, to me, would be really fun. I would like to see some of that, or even, some type of a Netflix movie. I mean... Crazier things have happened, right? So many things are happening now. I would be all about a Netflix movie or a television show or an animated series even. I think stuff like that is fun. So who's to say what might happen? And that's why I think it's cool to get some of this stuff. So let me know. Are you guys collecting Operation Monster Force? Is this something you're into, something you're not into, something you don't care about? How do you feel about the line? A lot of accessories here. My goodness, so many accessories. Almost too many, in fact. Of course, these all come with a stand. Very, very cool. Just says Delta Red there, I guess, because there's a couple of different versions. Which that might be a thing where, you don't need all of them. I guess you guys have to vote with your wallets on that one because, some people may feel they don't need all of the Delta Reds or the Sleepwalkers. But again, you have to choose for yourself. And again, like I said, these aren't crazy expensive, but they're expensive. And that's where it's unique because I know Super 7 prices are pretty high, but then there's also, companies like Hot Toys are doing $300 figures. So it's different for everybody. And so I always try to tell people you gotta go with what makes you happy. Or how about this one? You've heard me say it a lot. You gotta find your joy. And I'm a big believer in that. And if this is not it for you, launching heads. Then I totally understand that. But at the same time, I think stuff's pretty cool. So, is it for everybody? No, it's not. But it's cool. Man, this is a lot of... Check out this head. What is this? Oh, man. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I dig that. That's awesome. Very, very cool stuff. A lot of extra hands in here. I'm still not a big fan of extra hands. For a lot of reasons, as I get all these out of the package, I think extra hands, the problem I have with them, is not so much that you get them. Like, it's good that you get them, but it's like, who's keeping all of these? And if you got every hand, you probably have to bag it and kind of put it in some type of a storage container. And then it's just kind of holding up space, and you're just kind of holding it, and you're doing that so you just don't lose it, right? So in case you ever decide, hey, I want to get rid of this figure, you haven't lost it. My gosh, look at all these accessories. So many. In fact, I'm going to have to take this offline and see what I can do with this, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper. All right, we got everything kind of unpackaged here. I literally have a cavalcade of weapons, and what I'm learning is, I don't even know if I can put all these on. I did put a couple of shoulder piece of armor there on his shoulders. It looks like we've got other pieces of armor here as well. Other attachments for his tactical gear. There's so much. I don't even know what to do with all of it, to the point where I'm like, okay, like I guess with this you could attach the gun to it and stuff. It's hard to say. It's almost literally like a choose your own adventure. And while that is awesome, it's a little much. And I'm afraid I don't know where to put all this stuff. So unfortunately, I think I'm just going to kind of keep him there with his gun in his hand and call it good. I'm simplistic like that, I guess. Too much. But at the same time, I kind of wonder, man, would I be all about this if it didn't have? Well, I will change his hands out because I'm going to put the trigger hand on this hand. So as much as I just knocked his stand down on the ground. As much as I criticize extra hands, this is my point though. You need a trigger hand and you need a regular hand and you're good. You don't need, 4 sets of extra hands. Part of me, though, I think my complaint comes in because I'm like, okay, if you had done this, I feel like maybe you could have lowered the cost a little bit and this wouldn't have been like a crazy expensive figure. And not that it was crazy expensive, but it was expensive. Very interesting, the head kind of comes off like that. You don't see that often, so it kind of attaches at the neck. Which, well, maybe not, because that's... Well, I guess this comes off too. Hopefully. We shall see. Because I've never seen it unattach at the neck. Well, it's not wanting to come off, so that's not good. I'll put the head back on. Yeah, it's not coming off right there. Well, I guess I'm not putting on those other head pieces. I don't know. I wanted to put on that other head with the helmet, and that's not looking possible. Maybe when I do the pictures and the videos of it, I'm able to do that, but it's not looking possible because I was really thinking this head would be a cool one, with the mask up and stuff. A cool way to display it, like that, of course. And then this way, you got like the mask and stuff. Again, very different looks, very, very cool. But I think also too, the create your own element of this is kind of fun. It's kind of like Create a Wrestler back in the day. If you guys played any of the wrestling games, those were always fun because you could kind of pick and choose what you wanted everything to be. And so if you like this figure, great. At the same time, you could also buy another version and put this head on and change some of the armor, and you got a totally different figure. So that might be what they're kind of going for, more of like a Legion builder type thing. But sometimes I think that the more options, that makes it harder. Like if you went to a menu and it had 18 pages, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I want to get. There's so many options. Yeah, most time it's like, hey, I'll go with the usual. Sometimes you're more simplistic like that. But sound off in the comments down below. What do you guys think? Is this a fun figure for you? Do you like all the options? To me, I'm going to try to keep all these accessories because I do have a couple of baggies here. So I'm literally going to bag all of these up so I don't lose them. But I feel like it's a little much sometimes. And as cool as it is, it kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to do. But the Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper, very, very cool looking figure. Like I said, I'm going to try to change those heads out if I can. But the neck piece I did not expect to come out, so hopefully I'm able to do that. As you can see right there, it pops out just like a normal head, but that neck piece coming out kind of threw me for a loop there. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But I think that's a really cool head right there. Kind of the mask up, and you can kind of see like what he's supposed to be looking like. I think that's great. So, like I said, I like these figures a lot. I know Wave 2 and I think what they're calling it Wave 0, but it's kind of like the Wave 3, are all available now. A lot of cool figures in that wave as well. That I'm hoping to dive into all of these. But again, we don't know what the future is going to look like as far as pricing and everything else, so we'll see what happens. But I would like to get more of these because they are super, super fun figures. But that is Delta Red, the Urban Operations Trooper. What do you guys think? And are you collecting Operation Monster Force or anything else from Fresh Monkey Fiction? I did hear a rumor that the Cops line from Fresh Monkey Fiction is not happening now, so hopefully someone picks that up. I think that'd be great. I still want to get the Cops figures. Those are a little bit more on the expensive side nowadays, but I'd love to collect those at some point, a more modernization of them, so we'll see what happens. But that is it. That is all I got. Make sure you guys check out the other unboxing videos. I believe earlier this week I unboxed the Macho Man Randy Savage Big Rubber Guy. Check that out. Last week I unboxed Flying Brian Pillman from the Mattel Elite line, Sean Mooney from Hastel Toys and Grapplers and Gimmicks, and of course Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series. All those can be checked out in the archives as well. Of course, Saturdays check out What's on the Pegs, and you will see what I'm finding on the pegs. You're not going to find this on the pegs. It's only on Big Bad Toy Store. And then, of course, check out Big Bad Toy Store. Pick up these Operation Monster Force figures if you so desire. They're really, really cool. And, hopefully they're in stock. I don't know. I will put it up there if they are. And then, of course, check out check out Tales of the Toy Box. New episode every month, only on the TB Toycast YouTube channel. And, of course, check out the TB Toycast every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. Me and Travis talk all things toys. We have a different main event. We dive into what's happening in the world, what we're picking up, what we're diving into, all that good stuff. So check out TB Toycast wherever you get your podcast. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is Delta Red, the Urban Operations Trooper. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.